Welcome back. Well, the markets continue to hold well in the green. It appears we're moving towards the 17,800 odd mark, but the big Q today is going to be the CPI data. That'll be the global Q. And from the domestic Qs, we'll be waiting by for the IT companies that kickstart their earnings. For the time being, though, let's focus on the finance space as well as the banking space. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, well, it's the next corporate on our radar. We're speaking to them post their Q4 update. The company has seen a robust disbursals, which aided the loan growth as well this time around. Further, there's also a reduction in stress, which has seen the gross NPAs come down to around 3.6% from over 5%. To discuss this and more, we're joined by Mr. Ittira Davis, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the company. Hi, Mr. Davis. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, give us some sense about this growth first. Has it come because of an increase in clients, or is it that the ticket size has moved up? Give us a broad understanding.
Good morning, Nigel. It's good to be back here with CNBC. A good question about how the growth has taken place. For us, the growth is very broad-based. We have seen after the initial couple of quarters during the year, which was mainly based upon existing customers with new loans to them, we broadened the base by going into new customers. Because the economy also picked up and showed us signs that that risk was worthwhile taking, and we moved in that direction. So our 33% growth in the OSP for this year has come from a combination of existing customers as well as a good number of new customers. The ticket size has remained more or less the same, because initially the ticket size went up a little when we were dealing with existing customers. But as new customers came in, the ticket size fell a little bit and is back to what we have normally during the pre-COVID levels.
Okay. So what kind of overall, I mean, the disbursals are very strong this time. Even in the quarter gone by, the AUM growth has been about 33%. On an average, what do you think you can do in the full year? And, you know, also for FY24 is what I'm asking. What kind of sustainable growth do you see?
Yeah, the growth in OSP will continue in the new year, and that is the objective. Whether it will touch the 33% that we have seen will be determined based on how things pan out in the first quarter. You know, we are looking very carefully at interest rates. Right now, there's a pause in the interest rate movement. If that continues and it stays at these levels, then, you know, we can look at some interesting numbers for growth. But if the interest increases, RBI does another one or two increases in interest rate, then the market is going to be a little bit more challenging, and the numbers will also have to play out on that basis. So growth is there for us. We have forecast a good growth, but all of it will depend upon interest rates and how they move.
Just one follow-up. You said the market could get a bit more challenging if the rates move up further. But have you seen any impact already? I'm asking because you cater to a lot of segments, you know, the MSE segment, microfinancing, and these are pockets that have been under pressure now because of rising interest rates as well as inflation hitting pockets. Any impact that you've seen so far, either in terms of growth or even on asset quality?
No, loan demand remains good, so that is not a problem at this point in time. But you know, if a couple more interest rate hikes, we have only had 2 interest rate hikes on the lending side for the whole period from last May, when the interest rate started moving up, or when RBI started raising rates. We have had only 2 movements on that front. Whereas on the deposit side, there's been several more movements, and as you well know, during March, there was a big scramble for deposits, and we saw several banks pushing interest rates up. And that has sort of slowed down since RBI did not raise interest rates at the beginning of this month. But if that scenario continues to play out and we see a couple more interest rate hikes, the deposit mobilization will be a challenge. And then that will have to be passed on to the customer. So then how does the customer react to higher rates on the loan side is something that we need to see. But for the moment, Ujjivan is very comfortable. We are very liquid. We ended the year beautifully with high liquidity. We, in fact, anticipated this interest rate cycle. Because of my gray hair, you know, I have seen these cycles a few times, and we anticipated and took those decisions early enough, first in August and then in November, So we were well placed in terms of mobilizing deposits, and we didn't have to join the scramble in March. So I think for the moment it looks good. First quarter is looking good as well, but let's see how it all plays out.
All right, Mr. Davis, but with the current scenario, I mean, assume that the RBI has paused and maybe there's one more rate hike that they could look at. What kind of a number are you looking at? Loan growth and NIMs, as well as if you could give us some color on your restructured book for the coming year, that's FY24.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, I would rather wait for our final numbers to be announced next month in May, and then, talk about the book and the growth. But let me just assure the market that it's going to be in the range of 20 to 30% growth in terms of the balance sheet. Now, whether it comes towards 20 or 30 will depend upon how interest rates play out during this year, during the first and second quarter. And then, I can give you a firmer number as to how we're going to zero in on which side of that 2030.
We'll take that broad range for now. And as you said, when your numbers come out, we'll have a chat and you'll give us, more concrete numbers. But what about NIMs? I think you're at around 9.5% or thereabouts as per last reported. Where is that?
Yeah, NIMs for 22-23 was very good. It would have ended around 9.5. For this year, again, there will be some challenges on the NIMs, but I don't see it falling below 9.3% is my best estimate at this stage.
Okay. What about new products on offering? Anything in the gold loan space that you'll be looking at? There is a lot of competition here as well. Would you be looking to take competition from NBFCs? Any thoughts?
Yeah, the gold loan is an area which we have test marketed. We are now ready to go into it, with a larger business. I think, we are looking initially at our own customer base, because right now, since we don't operate, many of our micro banking customers are going to other people and other banks and getting those loans. We try to get them back, and, we'll offer that product to them. So that'll be the start. And as we then build up, we will be looking at new customers. So I think our reach across the country will help us on that regard. We have now about 629 branches, and we'll be adding another 100 branches during this financial year.
All right, 100 branches. And what is your base currently, sir, in terms of branches?
Sorry, I couldn't get that.
As of now, what is your branch base? And you're looking to add 100. I missed the first number.
629 branches.
And looking to add 100. All right. Final question before we let you go. We need to clear some rumors as well. Is there any possibility of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank getting merged with any other entity?
Well, there's nothing that I'm aware of, and nothing being discussed at the moment. We are focusing on the reverse merger. That is, to that extent, there is a merger, but it's the holding company being merged into the bank. So
that we're aware of. That we're aware of, but anything else we should look forward to? I think at this moment was the crucial words that I picked out of that statement. Do you think there could be something in the offing post that?
Well, after the the reverse merger is completed, we are open to look at all options on how we grow, how the growth takes place, and how we go forward. So yes, it's one of the possibilities after the reverse merger is completed.
Okay, but anything in this calendar year itself that we could look forward to?
Not in this calendar year. A bit early for that.
Okay, all right, got it. Thanks a lot, Mr. Davis, for joining in. Pleasure speaking with you on CNBC-TV18. Well, that's the word coming in from Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. The market is still very quiet.